Viva Aaliyah. Viva Aaliyah. Viva Aaliyah.
Hey Vivas, and welcome to another episode of Viva Aaliyah. I believe we are episode 19 out of 22. That would make sense because we have 3 more episodes left in the season. Before we start anything, I have to thank my team, my family, my husband, Dominic. Tonight's episode is going to be different than what y'all thought. And it's different than what I thought. Unfortunately, our guests today had an emergency that they had to take care of, and in professional manner, we are taking care of it. We have another guest coming to the screen for you tonight, to the audio in possibly. We are 100% sure that they are showing up, but we are not 100% sure how they're going to start the interview. So instead of Bob Taylor, which we were very much looking forward to chatting with, Bob, I hope everything gets taken care of if you are watching this and that you are able to be on the show. In season 5, we will definitely have you back, but we are going to have the wonderful pageant owner and director of Glamorous Pageantry, which is where I will be competing coming up in a couple of weeks. Nima Barami. I'm so excited to chat with him and talk to him about Glamorous Pageantry. I've said this to all of you before. I send all of my guests the questions ahead of time. And tonight, caution to the wind. We have no pre-planned questions, and we're excited about it. We're excited to take this journey into a new space and to do new things. But before we get started, I just want to say that there are a lot of things going on in the world. And the fact that you're tuning into our show means a lot to me. And so thank you for being loyal fans, loyal friends, loyal family. I really do appreciate you so much. I also know that I said that I would have stuff up on my website talking about mental health and resources for what's going on in the world. However, there's something going on with my website. I can't even log on to it myself. So I have to get a webmaster involved, and we are going to get this taken care of so that in the coming weeks we can have something going on. Before we jump into our interview today, I do want to replay the cold open from last week. And I know Dominic has that queued up. Once again, I just have to say thank you to Dominic and to Chip, my husband, for being a part of Viva Aaliyah and always taking care of me. Mental health is really important to me. That's why we have a mental health panel every year. And girl, today stressed me out a little bit. So without further ado, I am going to toss it over to Dominic, and we are going to play our cold open from last week. My friends, family, and allies. Now more than ever, we must be vigilant in our efforts to support each other. Our world is in a state of disarray and verging on the brink of more than just a world war. Our trans brothers and sisters are continually under attack in our country. Trans women of color are still being murdered at a rate that is unacceptable, and they are not being spoken about on our news programs or stations, or protected by our government. We must hold our administration continually accountable. Joe Biden, while a much better candidate than our GOP candidate, is not making all of the best decisions for all Americans. Florida is on the brink of passing a bill that doesn't allow us to speak about being queer at all. It's named Don't Say Gay. It actually talks about teachers outing their students within 6 months of finding out that they are queer. Our queer youth in Texas and other red states are being targeted for being who they are, which we all know leads to child and teen suicide. We have to show them that our community is a united community and we're there for them when they need us. And the last thing that I will acknowledge today, but it's not the last thing that's weighing on my heart and mind, is the war on the people of Ukraine. We have people in our community over there and their families that support them, active in a war that they did not ask for. Russia has bared its ugly teeth once again on our community, and they've done it time and time before. They have actually murdered their own citizens who were out and proud. They've thrown them off of buildings, they've held them at gunpoint, and we cannot stand for this anymore. They're doing the same to the individuals in the Ukraine. Vladimir Putin is a warmongering bully and he must be stopped. We send our love and support to the citizens of Ukraine and will do all that is in our power to keep you safe and to keep you alive. We love you and want you to know that you are thought of and you are supported. In the next few weeks, we will be posting on our site, www.aaliyahmartinezqueen.com. We will be posting mental and suicide help hotlines that are specifically targeted towards our community. Remember to take care of yourself and each other, and remember that I love you more than you know. Once again, that is our message from last week, our cold open. I also want to say that there are other states, including Utah, that are passing anti-LGBTQ and anti-trans bills. We have to be vigilant. We have to vote. We have to get out there. We have to speak on behalf of our community. We have to be, it is our job as drag queens. Yes, I'm a drag queen. I'm not a real woman. But it is our job as drag queens to lead the charge, that we are entertainers and we are the folks in our community that have the megaphones. We get those microphones. We get to perform. We get to say something after we perform. We have to be there for our community. We have to speak about these things. We cannot sit here and allow our community to go down. We have to protect our own. And we are LGBTQIA+, honey. We are not just gay men and women. We have folks that are non-binary. We have folks that are non-gender conforming. We have folks that are just out there and living their life that don't want a label, and they are a part of our community, y'all. We have to make sure they are safe. I was very proud of the Northern Texas, I believe, university recently that was on the news and on Twitter and on TikTok and Instagram. And they had a GOP candidate that was supporting these anti-trans bill, and they come into their class and listen or try and speak to them, and they were not having it, honey. We need to get our kids ready to be a part of what we are, and that is a community. We have to do this. We have to make sure that our LGBTQIA+ youth are protected and that we are giving them a platform to speak on. I feel very, very passionate about this because I was one of those kids that didn't have a platform to speak on, and drag gave me that. And I am so beyond happy that we have that I have this show and these moments to just be able to talk about things that mean so much to me. Beyond that, there are things going on in the world, and we have to send our love to Ukraine. We have to send our love to anybody that is fighting for them. And we have to, I said this in my speech, Joe Biden needs to be held accountable for what he promised us as our president, but we have to support him as our president and let him know that we as Americans are ready to welcome Ukrainians, to welcome folks that are not American into our country, because they are not being treated as equals. They are not being treated as people. So There's a lot going on in the world, y'all. And the best thing we can do is be ourselves, be honest, and just fucking love each other. I do believe that we are getting set up for our guest today. We're going to need a minute, so I'm going to chat a little bit more. I did say that like I said, I was to have, it's a little warm in the room that I'm in, that I was going to have some resources up on the website. As soon as we get our website fixed, y'all, we are going to put those up. Until then, there are suicide hotlines. Please Google them. LGBTQ suicide hotlines, LGBT suicide hotlines. And we will, I'm sure, I know Dominic is working on something else right now, but I'm sure during this broadcast, I will mention it again at the end of the show. And Dominic will have those to put up on the screen. But I am just so into mental health because I am a person who suffers with my mental health, and we need to talk about that. We need to make sure that we are keeping each other sane and happy during these times of unrest and unjust happenings. I see activity on the camera, honey. I see activity on the camera. I'm loving this. I am going to compete in a competition in a couple of weeks. I have been following this pageant for a few years, and my sister, Shay Larice, is a former of this system or of this pageant, and it says everything. The title says it alone. It is everything that I want to be. It is everything that I am. I love feathers. I love rhinestones. I love professionalism. I love being on time. And that is exactly what being glamorous is. And we have the owner and promoter who I get to actually, we were actually chatting the other day, and he said to me, "I can't wait to hug you." And I said, "I can't wait to hug you either." And so we are going to glamorously hug each other. And I posted on my Facebook, if you want to look it up, I'm about to sing my glam off at this pageant, which is very true. I'm a live singer, and I'm about to give talent that I haven't given before. So I am very excited. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready, babe. Are we good? Wonderful. I'm very excited to bring to Viva Aaliyah none other than Nima, who is the promoter and director of Glamorous Pageantry. Hi. How are you?
Good. I'm sorry, like I'm in a dingy kind setting right now. I'm backstage at our club.
So I explained to the audience, this was a very last minute ask of me to you. I actually asked you 4 minutes before our show was supposed to go on. So thank you. You are a savior and a true friend already. And I just am so excited to chat with you about glamorous and being glamour.
So I can't hear you.
Okay.
Let me see somebody. Let's see if I can. Okay, you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
No, I totally cannot hear you. I can hear you talking. It's really super low.
Got it. Okay.
Just make sure the volume on your actual device is turned up.
Hold on.
Is your volume up? All right. You let me know when you're ready and we will start.
Okay, I'm going to exit out, and can I come back in?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
Absolutely. Like I said, Vivas, we have technical difficulties every now and then. We have guests who have emergencies, and we always know how to take care of it. 1 is alcohol, 2 are anxiety pills, and 3 is my producer, Dominic. Dominic always knows how to take care of everything and me. All right.
Okay, I'm back.
How are you feeling now?
I'm good. I'm sorry. It's been like a crazy day today. So, but I'm happy to talk to you, and I'm happy to talk to you. I can see you. That's great.
Yes. Can you hear me now? That's the question?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wonderful. Okay, so I already explained to my audience that I asked you 4 minutes before the show and you rushed to get to where you were going. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I had planned on having you a part of season 5, but you are my savior today. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
I always ask my guests as my first question, what's in your glass? Because I always have a cocktail. However, I didn't prep you for that. So what is your favorite cocktail, or do you have one in hand?
I only drink Patron Silver Tequila.
Oh my gosh. A babe after my own heart. Seriously. That's the best thing. If I'm judging a pageant and the pageant allows for a drink, I always do a double Patron because I sip it and I don't get drunk on it. And I'm not like downing a cocktail. It's something to sip while I'm sitting there. So
I get that. I can have 100 of them, not feel a thing. I drink vodka. One shot, I'm gone.
So usually I send all of my guests the questions ahead of time, but obviously we weren't able to do that. So I'm just gonna riff on this and ask you, what made you start Glamorous? What was the want behind it?
Well, 11 years ago, I judge a lot of pageants myself, and I was sitting at a pageant, and this contestant was doing a solo talent, and I was so inspired that the person could go on stage all by themselves, present themselves all by themselves in every category alone, and she outshined so well. And then people came with these big productions, and then it kind of drowned out that solo talent. And I've been running nightclubs for over 20 years, and with our nightclub setting, we always book entertainers that have received titles, and we always work with all the systems to bring everybody in, especially into Orlando. And it was just sometimes you would book somebody that had that production value, and then you would not see that on the stage. So this gave an opportunity and a platform for our contestants to show their individual talents. And I wanted to create that, not just with that, because everybody always says, okay, it's glamorous, you have to be glam. No, that's not true, because glamour doesn't mean, it also means that you can be talented. It can mean that you can have fashion. It means that you can be loved. It's all every category, but it's really about how I really wanted to give that platform for people that had that solo talent so they can shine and be seen, so they can work more in our community. So people can say, okay, she can sing, she can dance, she can tap dance, whatever you can do, they see it and they'll book you all over.
I really love that take. I think one of the things that I remember you saying is you bring in folks that kind of are like there to watch us also. And I've heard that from like your formers as well. And they're kind of there as like, you're not just a promoter, you're kind of like an agent for all of your contestants as well. Do you feel that way?
I always say that the community needs to work together, because I think it's important, not just as a pageant owner, but even promoters, show directors, bar owners, entertainment managers. I think it's important that we all, have each other's backs, because we are a community that is fighting every day for equality and love and the strength that we need to show the world that we are equal to them. So I think if we don't do it within ourselves and we don't support each other within ourselves and help others get work, then what are we really preaching out there? Because it's time for us to start practicing what we preach. And instead of saying that we're there to be family and togetherness, we'll show it. It's time for us to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I could not have said that better myself. I feel like there's such a divide in our community, especially once social media hit and we were able to there's the keyboard warriors, there's the texting warriors, and then they're kind of almost like the opposite in front of your face. So I'm really glad that you're kind of pulling the community together. You also do your pageant differently. Registration is not just registration. It is like a party and a family gathering. It's basically a family reunion, the way that you do it. What made you decide to not just have like a normal registration and make it that?
Well, first of all, obviously you're applying for a job, you know, and I get everybody who does interviews and I get everybody who does those formal interviews, which is fine for them, but I do it differently because sometimes when you do registration and then you do the pageant and then you go backstage and everybody's very quiet and everybody's like, who is she? Who is that? Who is they? You know, that's not building the bond that you need for the community to grow. So when we do registration, we bring you in, we go over the information for like 5 minutes. Then we have an open bar, and then we have catered food, and the pool is open, and we let you all socialize and get to know each other. And then after registration, we do a welcome party, which we invite all of our contestants to and our formers. And we, you know, give you some complimentary cocktails so you can mingle with your sisters, because that's what you're building. You're building a sister bond. When you get to the pageant backstage, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to connect with each other. You're going to be joking around. You're going to be having a good time. And when whoever wins and whoever loses, you're supporting each other. You know, that's what it's about.
Yeah. You're also, you are a marketing genius, by the way. I've worked for PR firms. I'm one of the heads at GLAAD. And we do a lot in the media, and I think about this almost every day. The fact that people anticipate the release of not just like what the theme is of Glamorous, but you have a full release of all the contestants, and there's like a registration certain time. There's a time when we have to have certain things in and like do certain things, but that release, you make promos for people. You have everything ready. Do you have a background in marketing, or like what was that kind of like pull to make sure that you had that like bam?
You know, I do not have a background in marketing. I've been doing it for so long. Like I started my career in 1999. So it just really, you know, I just knew I kind of had that feeling. I knew what people wanted to see and what it would attract people. I just think it's important that, you know, we do self flyers and we only allow 20 contestants to enter Miss Glamorous. That's what our cutoff point is. If contestants drop out, we never add on because you paid on time. That's not fair to another contestant that did the above and beyond to make sure that they got their entry fee in time. So, but what we do is our promotional aspect of it is that we give you an individual flyer. It's not just for the pageant. It's giving you an opportunity to showcase yourself also. So when people see you, they're like, okay, I saw Aaliyah. I can't wait to go over there and see her compete. Let's see what she's going to bring to the table. When you bring it to the table, guess what? They're going to know that flyer. They're going to know the name. They're going to know the talent. And then it just promotes you out there more. So, you know, that's what we started basically doing with that, is that really, really, really we wanted to make sure that you guys had a platform for that. Even not just the winner, but our first runner-up and our second runner-up will also receive photo shoots. We always provide photo shoots for them so they can get their names out. And we also get discounts with photographers to help contestants get promos set for the flyers.
You have more than Miss Glamorous. You have Mr. Glamorous and you have Newcomer. Was there a time when you were like, okay, now it's time to add on the other divisions? Or and what made you take that like break between having Miss and then adding on the other two?
So Mr. came to me because I wasn't really educated yet on the male pageants, and I really wanted to study it a little bit to see what I needed to do to make sure that they had what they needed to travel with, to work, to we can promote and tell people about them. And you know, all the clubs that I ever worked at, I've always only booked female impersonation or drag impersonations or trans. You know, I booked all the girls. I never booked the boys. And recently, I started booking the boys, and I was really getting entertained by the guys. I'm like, wait, that's a whole nother market that we're not really tapping into. And the guys are super talented. And so our dear friend Dale Dees, he was one of our head judges for Glamorous. He had a Go Glam company that did makeup and hair and product, and he was a celebrity hairstylist. He did a lot of the Miss Americas. Erica Dunlap, Miss America. He did Best Friends with her. He passed away suddenly in his sleep, and we wanted to do something to honor him. And this was the perfect time for that, because we said, okay, it's Mr. Glamorous. Let's get that set. He is Mr. Glamorous. So we appointed him as our first Mr. Glamorous, and we honored him that night at the pageant. For plush, I love a plush girl. I do. I think,
by the way.
well, like plush girls are, I just adore them. So I wanted to give them a platform also. Everybody's like, well, why are you not doing Elite? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? I said, because we have Miss Glamorous. Elite can compete in Miss Glamorous. There's no age requirement to be Miss Glamorous. And in fact, we should have old school and new school and mid school all competing against each other. What happened to the old school values back in the day when all the girls competed as family, sisters, mothers, daughters? Why can't we do that anymore? What happened that we had that separation and that gap in our community? So this is important to me. Like, I wanted to do a plush division. And I had to like really think of the name. And it was funny because Chevelle Brooks actually came up with the name, because for weeks we were looking at what's the word that's plus size, that's not plus or at large, you know? And she came up with plush. So I give her all the credit for that. We just started our system that way. It's always going to be Mr. Next year, Mr. will be the day before Miss. And then newcomer will be the day before plush, which it is this year.
So there's been a lot going on, a lot of talk, I should say, going on about newcomer and how a lot of these newcomer girls should be really competing with the Miss girls. And I mean, I think the current glamorous newcomer is a prime example of that. She's polished. She has what it takes. She could easily go in and slay. So what, outside of Elite, what makes the newcomers kind of different and glamorous?
Well, you know, I'm actually happy that the newcomers are doing the newcomer division, even though they're so super, super talented. I think sometimes you have to do smaller divisions for yourself to see what you need to do to fix, to grow to those bigger pageants. So it's important, you know, you start at, you know, talent contests at clubs, then you do closet balls, and then you do newcomer division, and then you work yourself up. Why not win all the things with the good packages that you put together? And if they're great, I mean, the newcomers floored me. They floored me this past year in 2021, and I can't wait to see what they're going to bring in 2022, because they are so super creative, because they're actually, I call it within the times, you know, they're out there with the kids in the dance floor having a good time while we're at the bar sitting there leaning, having a shot, you know. So they understand what everybody in the audience is looking for. And Chloe, our newcomer, this was her second time competing. She did her homework, came back, competed, knew exactly what she needed to do. And that's what the base of a newcomer pageant is for these girls, so they can figure out what they need to fix to make it better. And this is a proven fact with Chloe.
Yeah, she's absolutely stunning and did an amazing job. I couldn't agree with you more, though. I think there's times in your life when you may be polished, but you need to be able to come back and say, you know, what can I work on? What can I do? Because there's so much access now. There's access to YouTube, and you can be the most beautiful girl in the world, but not necessarily know what it is to compete in like a national system. Which would you consider glamorous national, or would you consider it?
So we never said it was a national pageant. Everybody's assuming it's a national pageant, which I'm honored to hear that. Because what I remember, a national pageant has prelims. That's what I remember. I refuse to do prelims. I feel like our pageant's set up for solo talent contestants. First 20 to pay are the ones that are determined to show their solo talent. I don't feel like prelims should be a part of our system. I do encourage other systems that do have prelims, go for it. Yes, please, you know. But I was always told, I might be wrong, that you have to have a prelim to be a national pageant. I mean, I don't know where that story came from. I don't know who actually, you know, I had a long conversation with Carmela Marcela Garcia before she passed, and she even told me that too. And I was like, I love you for that. You know, she's like, but it doesn't matter what you do. As long as you're good at what you are doing, people will support you and think you're national. So, you know, we don't put labels on things, as we don't want to be labeled. But we are honored that people are calling us a national pageant.
but you've also had girls that go on and compete at other nationals and do very well because you groom them so well. What is kind of your style as a promoter?
Well, we're there to help them as much as they need. A lot of our contestants have asked us for benefits. We're one of the few systems that allows you to compete at other systems while you're reigning for our pageant. I don't believe in holding back our queen. It's their choice to, or king, or our newcomer, or plush girl. It's their choice to decide if they want to further their career while they're reigning. If they do, we're there to support them. I will be front row for it. I'm never going to hold back anybody from a dream. I think it's important that people support our reigning courts and tell them whatever you decide to do in your future, we need to be there to support you. After Aja won, actually when she was reigning glamorous, she went and competed at Continental Elite and won. I believe Giselle was the same thing. I don't quote me on that, but I believe Giselle was the same way. We did a benefit show for her. And we helped and supported her for that. But we're there to support them in any dream that they want to do, because I don't think holding back somebody's dream is the right thing to do.
Yeah, you're even extremely supportive in our chat, which is like new. It's not new. Like promoters are supportive, but you support in a different way. You're like, girls, if you need something, just call me. If you need something, just like text me. If you need something, just like whatever you need. You're talking to us about fog machines currently, like, and I'm not giving anything away, but like you're talking to us about fog machines. You are so supportive of us, and I just, it's so refreshing to have somebody who is just that in touch with their contestants and not just their title holders. You could have said, you know, Joan, you do, which, by the way, stunning, glamorous, wonderful, sweet, amazing Joan Julian. I love her so much, and have had more than one conversation with her. But you could just say, like, Joan, you handle it, which a lot of systems do, and that's you know, the job of the reigning. But you're in it to win it. Like, you want to be in it with us. What makes you want to be that connected with also your contestants?
Because you won't know what my vision or my dream is if I don't guide you. And I think it's important that we don't just receive contestants and then have them compete and then say goodbye. I think it's important for us to really reach out, guide them, whatever you need, support them. Support is needed. So as much comfort you get from us as pageant owners, you need this comfort. So when you walk into our pageant systems, you say, okay, I get it. I understand. And I'm prepared and I'm ready to go. But, you know, that's why we always make sure, even backstage, we always have extra help for all of our contestants. We even have a section that, her name is Barbie. She's been with me for 11 years now, ever since day one. Well, I started the pageant with me, Barbie, Joni, the DJ, and our tabulator. There was literally just 4 of us working this pageant. And when Barbie came on with me, she brings her team, and I do complimentary sewing and complimentary steaming. So if anything rips, they're there to sew it for you. Anything that needs to be steamed, she steams everything for you and prepares you for the pageant. We just want to make sure that you're comfortable in any way possible form. So when you do this pageant, that you're at stress, as much stress we can relieve from you. That's the best, because you compete the best that way.
Speaking of that, to de-stress the contestant, there was a post recently, and Bob Taylor was our original guest today. He had a family emergency, or he had an emergency, and so he couldn't make it today. But he recently posted something about prize money versus prize package. And one of the things I really respect about you is you are really upfront with your contestants about what they get, when they get it, how they get it. And you even said in your, and I'm not quoting you directly, but the gist of it was, the money is the money, prizes are separate. And so that's something about Glamorous that is different than a lot of these other national systems. How do you feel about that?
Well, prizes are gifts. 90% of the time, they're donations from people to give to your pageant so you can give to your contestants. That's a gift. It's not something that should be a part of your prize money package deal. So when we do prize money, it's you get 10,000, you get 9,000 the night of the pageant, and 1,000 when you step down. Now you have an opportunity. Obviously, we give you the money in advance. If you ask for us to give it to you in advance, we have no problem with it. Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the pageant starts, so you can prepare yourself for the pageant. Give up. But I think that when people do prizes, we also do prizes, but we don't showcase it. I put it and tell you what you're getting. Photo shoot, you're getting this, you're getting that. We have duffel bags of prizes that we give you. That is a gift. It is not should be showcased on a flyer that says also that. I made that mistake in the past and I said cash and prizes. And I felt like, you know, I had to go back and apologize for that too, especially with my prize amount that I used to have, because we started with, you know, $1,500. So that's what they were getting in cash. And then it started growing as the system started getting better. But now our system's set up where all of our formers come back, they all get a set pay, and then they get a percentage of the earnings that we make for the pageant, because no pageant owner should be pocketing all the money from this pageant. They should be giving it back to the people that are a part of our system that people are coming to see. They're not coming to technically see me on stage. They're coming to see the entertainment that have formally won and the contestants that are competing. If I went on stage and stood there, you're not going to come and see it, you know? So we need to give it back to our entertainment in any way, form, any way possible, instead of putting it in our pockets.
Well, I just want to thank you for being my savior tonight and coming onto the show. I know you have an event and you did this out of the kindness of your heart while you're actually at the venue for your event. So I don't want to keep you. I keep you too long, but I just want to say thank you and thank you for explaining and talking about Glamorous. I'm beyond excited to give you a hug and just to be around you and all of the girls. I feel like we've already created such a sisterhood in that chat, and it's just been an experience that isn't felt everywhere. And I can't, it has to be credited to you as the person who puts it all together. So thank you so much for that. If you don't mind, I'm just going to close out the show really quick, and then I'll chat with you backstage really quick, and then I will let you go.
We'll see you guys on March 21st. We only have a couple tickets left, so don't be flying in and not get your tickets.
So before you go, if you can just give the spiel about tickets. So there's tickets that you can come and see, but there's also tickets you can log on virtually.
Yes, live stream. We have live stream tickets for the ones that cannot travel. And we have, I believe it's 110 tickets out of 750 tickets left for the pageant. Do not wait the day of, because last year we were sold out before the day of and people were outside going, well, why can't I get in? Well, this is the reason why, because you have to do things in advance, as we do. So make sure you get your tickets in advance. And if you can't make it, just get our live stream. It's all on the Glamorous page, Glamorous Pageantry System page on Facebook, and also on our more website, which I can post later on the Glamorous page.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. I will see you backstage in like less than 30 seconds.
Okay.
Give it up for the promoter of Glamorous. Give it up for Nima. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Vivas, we have an amazing show for you next week. As you can see, my puppy is right here. I believe it's Sisters Painting next week. So Moulton and Tajma will be with me. And Moulton is competing at Plush. So go see her at Glamorous Plush. I love you all, and we'll see you on the next one. Viva Aaliyah.
Viva Aaliyah. Viva Aaliyah. Viva Aaliyah.